listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to more than Collin Moore. MLB The Show, media strategist. No human being I'd rather be talking to, Collin. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. It's awesome to be here. I'm really excited to talk, and it's awesome to talk about baseball.
Yeah, so we talk about, I want to get into sort of who you are and your path and leading all the way up into this MLB The Show conversation, which the impetus for it, I'll just tell the impetus. We were just sort of talking about it. Was I was sitting in the dugout next to Lucas Giolito, and I don't know, Collin, if you had seen the stories. It had come out recently about him playing the game to prepare for a start, right?
Yep.
Is that a thing, by the way? Is
totally a thing.
So more than him.
Max Fried does it. A couple other people.
Oh,
do it.
That explains it.
We were surprised as well, and it's really cool to see.
Okay, so he didn't say that he ripped it off from his friend Max Fried. So, but so we were just talking about that, and then he had said, he's like, yeah, man, I think it was his endurance, right? His endurance, I had to tell them my endurance. I have to amp up my endurance in the game. And I'm like, oh, you're able to do that? You're able to change your existence? And I'm like, what an awesome thing. What an awesome communication, the back and forth with MLB The Show and the player and all of it. And then that got into our bigger conversation, and that led me to actually ask other players about it. And this is a lot of what I want to talk to you about, Collin, but and there's a lot to talk about. But first, I want people to get to know you a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your path and how you landed where you are right now.
Yeah, so I've been working in the game industry since 1999. I was one of those kids that grew up that wanted to make video games ever since I was 9 or 10 years old. I have an older brother who played a lot of games. So it was as a career path I went towards. I was very lucky early in my career at 19. There was an ad in a newspaper at a local game company, and I walked in with my Kinko's resume, and they looked at it and they're like, can you start next week? And so I've been doing it ever since. Worked at places like Microsoft. I've been lucky enough to work at PlayStation on MLB The Show for the last 7 years. And the fact that I get to do two things that I love, I get to make video games as well as make work on baseball, is very much a dream come true and stuff. So I can't be any happier, and living in San Diego as well is not a bad part of a deal as well. So,
we were talking that you grew up a Mariners fan.
Yep.
And so, and Griffey was sort of the sweet spot, the Griffey era, right?
Yeah. So I grew up, I was right at that 9 or 10-year-old range when Ken got drafted. His first games were in the city that was 10 minutes from where I grew up. So Ken Griffey Jr. Mania was right at the impetus of when I became a baseball fan, and growing up alongside of that, and then his rookie year, and then going to the 95 season and stuff like that. It really just defined that of how much I love this game and stuff over the years, and have never put that down. Baseball is my favorite sport. I like watching football. I like watching basketball and stuff, but baseball is a game where I can, for 162 days of the year, I can have something to do, and so it's really cool. And hopefully that there's more than 162.
Yeah, no, well, yeah. Congratulations, the Mariners. But it is we've talked about this a bunch of times here. Is that first of all, it's the best game to go to. It's not even close. Honestly, Collin, it's not even close.
Yeah,
because you go, these other games are fine. Football's made for TV. Basketball and hockey, you're sort of, your head's on a swivel from the minute you get there. Baseball, you're talking, you're analyzing, you're watching something spectacular. Anyway. So, but yeah.
No, but baseball has this incredibly romantic pastime to it, where I mean, as much as I love our sports and I love going to soccer games and in basketball games and hockey games, I go to Kings games with my friend up in LA and stuff. But there is just something romantic about sitting back and letting the game evolve in front of you and stuff over a nice summer night.
Oh,
There's just something incredible about that type of behavior, and that type of attitude, and just the slowness is actually the rewarding part of baseball to me.
so two questions. Number one, do you remember? I'm going to ask you. You remember going to your first baseball game and what you remember about it? And second of all, what your first video game that you fell in love with was?
Oh gosh. First baseball game. I pretty sure my dad, I think I was probably like 12. He took me to a Mariners game, which was a big deal because we live about 90 minutes outside of the kingdom at the time. So that was a get out of school early, get into Seattle and stuff. Go to the kingdom, be like Jay Buhner and his whole heyday and stuff.
Could
and
you
Harold
believe how
Reynolds.
big it was? I mean, that like
It was pretty. Looking back, it was pretty incredible of how big that concrete behemoth was at that time. But no, I just remember going into the game and just being hypnotized by. I mean, and this was when the Mariners were a great local team. We weren't winning a lot of games at that time, so you were got to be a baseball fan if you're going, and just how much love and adornment there was for what was happening on the field and stuff. And that's really where, outside of my own like playing in junior high school and high school and stuff like that, playing baseball, of the actual like following the game and following standings and following like averages and stuff like that, and strikeouts, and listening to Dave Niehaus, which is just one of the greatest
Yeah.
voices in
Yeah.
baseball history and stuff. It's like, how can you not be hypnotized by that type of storytelling and stuff? And so it was just one of those moments where I just really fell in love with the game over time. In terms of favorite games, I mean, since we're talking about baseball, I
Yeah.
mean, I have to talk about King Griffey Jr. baseball
Oh
being
yeah.
like playing on the Super Nintendo way back in the day and stuff. I mean, that was just one of my favorite, just hitting bombs with King Griffey Jr. and stuff. I mean, it was an absolute blast. And the fact that I get to work in that type of same breath at this day is just truly rewarding.
I was looking at some video, some YouTube stuff, about, one of them was the evolution of MLB The Show,
Mhm.
and now it started in '96, right? MLB Show, and
Yep.
they were just basically going through the different iterations of it, and that '96 one, I think the kid was like, let's see, he said when he was born, so he was born in 2000, so he's like, listen, I'm sure that people like that. I don't know, like how did people like do this? How did people do this such rudimentary thing? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, are you kidding me? I remember the feeling of playing that game. Like that, it's awesome. It's awesome. So yeah. So anyway,
I mean, I remember some of the older things that, I mean, being a gamer all my life as well and stuff, of the moments where I think back 10 or 15 or even 20 years ago of being of like, oh, this is like lifelike kind of a thing.
yeah,
And then seeing the things that we're able to do now is just truly remarkable. So,
yeah, yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about what, was one of the things that fascinates me off of our conversation earlier, which was the relationships that you have with the players, with
Mhm.
the people who are the people in the game. So many people focus so much on the cover, right?
Yep.
Like that's sort of like and for good reason. I mean, this is a big deal, and
Totally.
anyone needs to know how big a
We got
deal it
'em
is.
right behind me right
Right,
here.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Henderson, Skeens, and
We got
Ali De La
Ellie,
Cruz.
Gunner,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Paul.
Yeah, yeah. And so I remember talking to Jazz Chisholm about it, and like this is a modern day. I'm gonna date. I mean, this is a terrible analogy, but Sports Illustrated. If you were in Sports Illustrated,
Mhm.
like this was, but this is even bigger. This is for the players. This is everything. So the reason I bring that up is because we understand the player's relationship with the cover, right?
Yeah.
If you're on the cover, it's all of a
Big deal.
sudden, yeah, your career.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know who is the along those lines, who do you think has taken the biggest jump in perception from being on the cover?
From being on the cover, I mean, we've had a number of amazing players. I mean, when Judge was on the cover in 17, I mean, that was he was a very well-known name and stuff, but that kind of also with his performance as well, that he just put him into a different strategy.
Yeah, that was early. Yeah.
That was early in his career. I mean, what Vlad's been able to do since he's been on the cover and stuff has been pretty impressive and awesome to see. And then even going back as far as I mean, when we had Big Poppy on the cover and then like Joe Mauer being on back-to-back covers and stuff. So, I mean, it's always been this very high prestige of being on the cover. It's just something that's really awesome to be a part. And also, it was 2018 Judge was on the cover, not 17. Ken Griffey Jr. was on the cover on 17. So it's just one of those things of being on the cover is just one of those highlight marks. And you mentioned Jazz. Jazz is a really good example. Jazz fits into this weird new demographic that we're seeing right now. These players that have been playing the game, and it has helped define their love of baseball. Like Jazz would talk, he'd just say, be like, I've been playing since I was 11. Type of thing. And then we're just like, wait, what? You've been playing since you're 11? And we remind ourselves that MLB The Show has been a franchise for 20 years. And so you have these players now that are coming to the major leagues and stuff that they love the game because they played it on the field. But a lot of that love also developed through playing the game and creating their own characters and putting themselves into the game and having those dreams and aspirations of like, someday I'll make the majors and stuff, how every kid can have. They're just these incredible, fortunate people that have the skill set and ability and stuff to actually make the majors. But actually have Jazz, he would just talk to people like, yeah, I would play this game all the time. I would play with my brothers. I'd play with my family and stuff. And that we're just seeing more and more of that through the league now as the league gets younger, and these players, like especially like even the new draftees from even this year, like some of them are like the game is older than them, kind of a thing. So yeah, it's been an incredible tool, and it's been awesome to watch over the years as players. It goes from it being of like, yeah, games are fun to being of like, no, I've been playing this game for like a decade.
Well, and then you get into like actually it being a tool and being like real life emerging or morphing with just playing for fun. But before that, you brought up sort of a topic which we've talked a lot about with MLB, about how MLB is leaning into things like exactly what you're talking about more, where honestly, when Judge was on the cover in 18, they were still pushing away a lot of this stuff, right? And why you guys were say, hey, everyone come in, the water's fine, show your personality, we're trying to help you. MLB, it still took them a long time. And if you go to this All-Star game, like they're finally, I think they've overcourse corrected a lot of ways. I mean, they put a guy in the All-Star game that had 5 outings, but because he throws 103, so anyway, this is my little rant. But
I mean, I remember when the D-Train, when he made the All-Star game and stuff as a rookie, and that was really cool to see of someone who, I mean, when you get lightning in the ball in those scenarios and stuff, I mean, it's great to be able to highlight and celebrate those type of moments and stuff. And I mean, it's great to see that the All-Star game is becoming just really fun and stuff, and celebrating the game and also exposing fans in general to who some of these newer players are and who some of these exciting new players are, as well as supporting the legends that we see, the incredible Hank Aaron presentation that they did this year. And stuff.
Great. Yeah, great.
So, I mean, the fact that the MLB is doing such an incredible job of balancing both the new and young and rising talent, but also like celebrating the legacy that the game has afforded us over the last 100+ years is pretty incredible.
No, I think that they've done a really good job. But to come back to MLB The Show, I think that this is part of the solution. This is all part of the solution. But now, the merging of the, like you said, the players interacting with it. Like, okay, so I talked about Giolito, about my interaction with him, and then I go to the All-Star game, and I go to the Futures game, and I'm talking to Noah Schultz, and I said, and we're just, hey, someday you'll be able to contact MLB The Show, like Lucas Giolito. He's like, well, actually, and
Yeah.
then he talks about how he had contacted you guys and said, hey, listen, I throw 100, by the way. And then he said how Grant Taylor, his teammate, the member of the White Sox, had sent videos showing how they throws. And hey, so my question is, how much of this happens? I have to know.
Yeah, so we have a couple different ways to approach this. So one, we have actually a special program for players. We have a program called the Real 99 card. So we allow anyone in the MLB that's part of the Players Association, they can submit a request to have a one-of-one card that is delivered only to them. And they can max out their attributes and whatever they want to do and stuff. And so you get people with like we have various power ranges and stuff, so they can throw 100 miles an hour when they typically don't throw 100 miles an hour type of a thing. Or they, but it allows these players, especially at the lower levels and stuff, who are just in terms of pure probability, there's a lot of people who will not make the majors and stuff. And so having their own card in MLB The Show that's going to be a career highlight for them and stuff. And so when the opportunity comes up, they take advantage of it. And we have a great time getting these cards built and manufactured and delivered to them and stuff. And hearing from all levels of play, from low A all the way to major league players and stuff, who just love these cards, and they will go play as them, and they'll go play online, and they'll play against fans, and then fans will like match up against them, and then we'll see pictures online of like, you can't believe who I matched up against, like type of a thing. And so it just leads to this better understanding and education of who these players are, where do they come from. Like, I'm a Mariners fan living in San Diego, but somehow I know who the third best prospect is on the Tampa Bay Rays because through MLB The Show type of a thing. So there's just some really great knowledge base that MLB The Show is lifting up. In terms of things like attributes and stuff like that, we do have an incredible team. We have our live content team that is always monitoring what's going on in the game. They're very much in tune with the whole sabermetrics, with the baseball statistics type of stuff, to really understand of what's going on, how players are evolving, how they're improving, how things are decreasing and stuff. And we do updates all year round. So even though the game comes out in March, mostly every year, like we are probably I think we're on our 20th patch. And then we also do roster updates. So if there's transactions, let's say someone gets DFA'd or brought up or brought down, we're always changing the rosters around. If anyone gets injured, or if someone's having a really good year, their attributes will slowly go higher over time. And that type of awareness is something that we're really proud about, of making sure that even though the game is such a long game, I mean, the season is 162 games, and we want to make sure that people are celebrating all the way from March, October. And so we're updating the game constantly and have an incredible staff on our live content team that is monitoring these things and making sure that anytime that you pick up the game, you're getting the best experience of baseball that you
By
can.
the way, what a great idea the Real 99 cards are. I mean,
it's become incredibly popular. I still, when I go to various baseball events and stuff like that, and I run into players and stuff, either they will be asking me because they haven't got theirs yet, because there's such a large demand for them that we have to work on them in various cycles and stuff. Or they'll talk about how excited they are that they have it and how cool it is to have, and how they show their friends, or they go online, or they talk with other fans of baseball and stuff. And they find it just to be an extremely rewarding and enjoyable thing to have.
well, Max, I could tell you, Max Clark, the top prospect for the Tigers, he says that he's very happy with his card, and he said he has no. He's like they were very kind to me. He's very so that must. But you mentioned like the evolution of the players. You know, that's enough to have people have to monitor. They like, hey, this guy, he started off here, and now it's halfway through the year, and he's here, and maybe he developed a new pitch or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many like very dramatic cases you have of that, but it's exciting, but at the same time must be challenging as well, right?
I mean, it's totally challenging because it's also balancing of like, is this a hot streak, or is this an actual change in the actual base ability of the player? And I mean, being a Mariners fan, I mean, Cal Raleigh's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Cal's been a top 5 catcher for the last couple years. I mean, he's had 2 30 years in a row and stuff. But then I mean, he was rated in the top 5. I mean, maybe JT or someone else might have been rated number 1. But then going into this year, it was like started out slow and just kind of kept going and going and going. And it was like, okay, we need to like, this isn't a fluke anymore. Like we gotta like Cal. So one thing that we also see a lot is so it's very one of our highest prestige in the game. So we have different tiers within our game based off of your rating. And so a diamond is the highest rating that you can get. So once you get above an 88, you're a diamond at that point. And we get a lot of people who will through the grapevine or through communication and stuff be of like, I'm working really hard. I hope to get that diamond and stuff. So it's fun. It's entertaining and also it's rewarding on our side and stuff too. Something that we do for fun and we love the game and we love working on the game and stuff and we love baseball. But the people that we see as stars and stuff are looking at us and being of like, hey, like I'm working really hard to get that diamond. Like, what do I got to do? Type of a thing. So, it's really awesome to see that juxtaposition.
Let me ask you that. When did it start feeling where these guys were using this as one of their goals? You know, these guys are driven, right? I mean, they're driven.
Yeah.
They want good stats. They want admiration, whatever, but they also want good ratings. And this is in the last few years, have you seen whether it's through the grapevine or people contacting you of saying more and more and more saying, hey, listen, like this is a goal of mine. So pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, I would say over probably the last like 5 years, we've been seeing more of an interest. For as long as we've had ratings in the game, people have always been somewhat interested in their rating and stuff. Versus now, it's a goal, like you were saying, to players. We have a program at the beginning of every year. We have a thing called the Diamond Club, which we celebrate the top 40 players in the MLB and stuff. And we give them a really nice trophy and stuff, and they get a special card in the game. And it is turned into like aspirational as well as like a team celebration. Like we have some incredible footage. Excuse me. We have some incredible footage from some of our team partners that will actually like bring out the trophy. Like the manager will bring out the trophy and being like, hey, we have an award here for someone, and they'll do the whole like clap around the clubhouse and stuff. And watching players really look at it as a tangible reward has been something that both is like working on it and stuff has been really rewarding, but just as a team, how we feel about it is like, this is really incredible that we are seeing as a valued reward in terms of similar league like type of awards and stuff and whatnot. And to do that at the beginning of the season and watch players just be truly humbled. Like Freddie Freeman was probably one of the cooler ones. That he got one recently this year. And he was just like, this is awesome and stuff. And so having a player of that caliber, of like World Series winner, talk about an award that we give him as having value is just something that really makes our team really understand the hard work is paying off, and both from a player perspective as well as our fans that play around the world.
You know, the players in this day and age, Collin, are so inquisitive about so many things, right? There's so many analytics that they can dive into, but I would imagine this is also part of it, right? I don't know, who are some of the players who are inquisitive? This is a compliment to them, by the way, like who are inquisitive about, hey, how do you, like a lot of the questions that I'm asking, maybe even more, how have you come across this? How has this evolved? You know, like, who are some of the players who are really inquisitive about this? I
mean, we've had a number of players actually come into our office and made requests of like, hey, I'm in San Diego on a road trip. Can I come by and take a tour of the studio and talk with you guys? I mean, we've had a number of, when Blake used to play for the Padres, like he would come by fairly often and stuff, and was just really interested of how we analyze things and how we do mocap, and to make sure that all of like the pitching animations and the swing animations are as close and accurate as they are. Lucas was one of the people who, honestly, when we first started working with Lucas on the players like years ago, and then over the years we became closer and developed a great relationship and a great friendship his just general curiosity was just kind of fascinating and stuff. And And we see that a lot with players, especially the younger players. I think the one thing that we see a lot, even though, I mean, they're playing a game that is incredible, and millions of people aspire to that. But it's also weird on the other side is we've talked with a number of players of like, when I hang up the spikes, like maybe I can come and help out, kind of a thing. Because there is a general interest in terms of either being understanding technology or wanting to be a part of something that helps proliferate the game and stuff moving forward. So
That's
um,
awesome. That's
there's
awesome.
we've had players that have expressed that type of interest. I mean, a lot of these players, they have a long career ahead of them and
Yeah.
stuff, but having that type of interest in being of like, yeah, like working in an office and talking baseball and stuff sounds pretty awesome. So
So the cliche question is, what's the next evolution of this? Of this? I mean, obviously, we can talk about how far it's come, and about even maybe the slightest little thing that you like. Oh, this would be interesting to integrate that we are not doing now. Is there anything?
I mean, not to get into any specific details. I mean, the thing that we're always aspired towards on the game is to help him improve the experience of how people can perceive and understand in baseball and learn from it and become a larger baseball fan. Like simple things that even I, as a person that loved baseball for years and years and years, I remember. So it's been like 3 years ago, we added pop time to our game. Like I didn't know what pop time was. And like I'm in my 40s and I didn't know what pop time was, and a baseball fan for over 30 years type of a thing. And then realize of being like, oh, it's okay, I understand it now type of a thing. And if I'm learning that, there's other people learning that type of a thing. And getting that better understanding of baseball and leveraging the game to do that has been super rewarding. I think it's something that the team really that pushes towards is we want to be a good education tool to have people fall in love with the game that we love so much as well. And we've done other things as well. So, I mean, one of the initiatives that we've done the last couple of years is, so we had storylines, which we've integrated in the Negro Leagues into the game. And so we've had this incredible opportunity to educate people about like who Cole Papa Bell was and like who Tony Stone was and stuff. And these are players who have rich histories, and that we're seeing people play the game of all age groups, understand these players as well as our legend players and stuff. So someone understand it's a 9-year-old saying that Sandy Koufax is his favorite pitcher and stuff. Like there is something incredible about that type of education. We had a great story about the Negro Leagues. And so let's see here. It was in Kansas City. They were doing a tour and stuff. And Bob Kendrick was giving a tour, and he was talking about something. And he's like, does anyone know why it's called the B-ball for Satchel Paige? And this 9-year-old just like raises his hand and stuff. And he's like, young man, he's like, do you know why it's called a B-ball? And he's like, because it be where he wants it to be. And he does, like, Bob was just like, you've been playing MLB The Show, haven't you? And his dad was like, yeah, he loves the game. And so that type of bridging generations and helping people understand this amazing history of the game and stuff. And also of all ages, of someone in their teens or even younger to someone in their 50s, being able to understand who these players are across all levels in all histories of the game.
I mean, it's so true, and this isn't hyperbole. What you're doing is so important in so many ways. What your team is doing, what MLB The Show is doing, because of, I was telling you about the book that wrote with Joe Kelly, and that was the whole sort of theme of the book, which was everyone falls in love with baseball in different ways, right?
Yep.
Mark Hoppus of Blink-182 fell in love with it in his late 30s. Everyone has a story about falling in love with baseball, and what you're doing, you just gave an example of this. It's so awesome that people are falling in love with baseball. I say, hey, I want to play a video game. What video game? Play this. Okay, now I'm playing it. Oh, I learned this. I learned this. I learned this. The next thing you know, this is real life. I'm going to go to a game. Oh, now I got a team. So I mean it. I mean, this is such a huge, huge part. And then, of course, you're talking about the actual players and how you're impacting the actual players. I know you know all this, but I'm just verbalizing my admiration for you. So
no, I appreciate it. It's a great compliment, and a lot of it is because of a lot of the hard work that the team puts into the game each and every year. It's being an annualized title, It is a labor of love on the team to put out a product every single year, and with all the detail and all the incredible work that our team does, and to do it, to ship the game in March and then instantly go back to working on more stuff and then working on live content and going to the All-Star game and putting out 35 draft cards the night of the draft of like these people are literally walking off the surgery this year. They were in their homes and stuff, but it's
Yes,
like,
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
but like literally like I mean the drive is the perfect example. Like in it's not like other sports where you're seeing relatively instant impact. I mean baseball is very much of someone's going to be in the minor leagues for a number of years and stuff like that. And it's just the way that the system works unless you're Paul Skeens or someone like that. But highlighting these people who are walking off the stage and then instantly being able to go into MLB The Show and play as that player is pretty incredible for us, helping people to better understand this game, to fall in love with these players and stuff. I mean, we worked with Corbin Carroll on a couple years ago, and he had a great story of when he was in the minor leagues. Like he would travel with his PlayStation and stuff, and he would play. And we had a series called Future Stars where we would highlight amazing players, much like the Futures game and stuff. We would highlight incredible players in the minor leagues and stuff. And we would like promote it being of like, yeah, it'd be cool to promote these players that will probably end up being MLB players and stuff. And watching online and being like, no, Corbin Carroll's going to be great, or this person's going to be great. And like, it wasn't that the education in terms of your local team. It was people who are not even necessarily following their local team and falling in love and or understanding of who these players are and stuff. So when they do become stars, that they know about them and they can be understanding of them and they can cheer for them, and they can cheer for them, or they can be the villain. Like, I mean, that's just part of also good game theater is you have your winners and you have your losers, you have your heels and you have your winners and stuff. And so being able to understand that and help build that type of passion towards this game is something that we all are just really humbled to be a part of.
It's, you're talking about the players and them seeing themselves. One of the things that probably is fascinating in them looking at themselves and them saying, hey, I'm like this. Oh, you nailed me. Like, that's it, right? That's it. Or, hey, I'm a little like this. We have a good friend, batting stance guy, Gar Rhinus, batting stance guy, right? The best. And he's a savant when he comes to like imitating batting stances. He's sort of the non video game version of a lot of what you're doing.
Yep.
But because players would come up to us and say, well, yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty amazing. But I don't know if you get like any of that. Now yours is much more scientific, obviously, but I don't know if players say, hey, listen, this or that, or can you make my biceps a little stronger or whatever?
In terms of attributes, we try to stay away a little bit from attributes and stuff. We let the play on the field kind of do that stuff. But things of like stances in terms of, let's say, pitching motions and stuff like that. I mean, we do have a team. One of the things on our team is we actually have a number of ex-college players on our staff.
Oh, interesting.
Who play the game at very high levels. And we actually, our director of gameplay, he actually was in the Reds farm system for a number of years. And like Trevor Hoffman was his like roommate and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Chris Gill, shout out Chris Gill. So I mean, there's a deep understanding and admiration for baseball within our team, both from just being a fan of it, but also playing it. And so things like mocap, making sure that things are accurate. If there's something that is a little bit off, or if we need to do a correction and stuff, like we'll head over to the mocap stage and just go put the suits on and stuff and make sure that we get it as right as we can and stuff. And we want to, I mean, it's great to see that players want that detail, but we also want to make sure that fans are having a great experience as well.
You should mocap the sports writers for going to get the free ice cream in the third inning.
Hey, I've been to a couple press boxes.
Yeah,
the free ice cream is not. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's the gateway. Bad. It's the gateway drug, Collin. I know this. Yeah. This is like So if we were going to do that, we're going to simulate the. I don't know how you would simulate someone looking at Twitter or X for like 50,000 times, then writing a story, then going to get ice cream, and then 10 Diet Cokes. There's the existence of the sports writer. So
if there's a soft serve machine, I'm in line for it. So
yeah, it's part of baseball. Well, you know, everything I said I meant, and I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to you. It was sort of happenstance, but now I feel like you've opened my eyes about a lot of stuff, and I hope that this opens everybody's eyes about the stuff because ultimately, as we said, the most important thing is that this is part of the solution for baseball. This is part of the a huge part of the solution for baseball. So I appreciate everything that you do, and we will make sure that a flurry of baseballs and boring T-shirts are on your way for your team.
Oh, that's much appreciated. Thanks, Rob.
All right,
And
Collin.
thanks so much for having us on. It's really cool to talk more baseball and stuff, and really kind of talk about like how much love and we have for this game, and that we want every fan, even if they don't play the game, but we want people to play the game as much as possible of how much awesome this game of baseball is. And so, but again, thanks for having us on.
I thank you. Yeah, thanks for all that you do.